of our doubleheader out here at the Rosemont Dome. So we just showed you Future versus Hexx, and not a bad ball game. Unfortunately, if you're a Future fan, they just didn't seem to score a lot of runs today, and they ended up losing that game 8-3. So now we got Hexx playing Flashline. So again, you got Flashline is a combination team, part of Flashback and part of Moneyline. So just looking at their lineup, they got a pretty solid lineup out here. So it should be interesting. They only won 8-4 over March. So both of these teams did not score a ton of runs. I expect now that they had got a game under their belt, maybe the offense will get a little better. So leading off, Lenny Gonzalo. Of course, Lenny came over from Players Inc. this year, and he'll be playing with Moneyline. And there's a fly ball first out of the ball game. So he flies out to the right fielder, Mikey Oliver. And that's going to bring up P.J. Raines, played with Tito's 45s last year, and he's a new pickup this year for Flashback. P.J., one of the bright young players in the game. Pretty versatile kid. Can play in a lot of positions. Of course, his father, Petey Raines, known him for a long time, proprietor of Iron Horse Security, an SSA sponsor. And there's a hard ground ball. Dive by Casanos. Throw pulls Greco off the bag. So PJ, who can scoot. So Casano laid out, made a strong throw just wide, and here's Mike Manzella. And we'll get to the rules at the half inning. What you're watching is 16-inch style softball. And Manzella ground ball to Greco, squirts through. Rory was coming around to make the play. But Manzella, left-handed hitter, easily beat Rory to the bag. And that's going to bring up Julian Gutierrez. And that pitch a little inside. Patty Caputo drifting in front of the camera. And Julian, I don't know if he got it. No, it's going to stay in the park. Raines will tag and go to third. So Julian trying to launch. Again, one of the rules here, because of the short dimensions, is you only get 4 home runs. So when you get a couple of base runners or the bases are loaded, you will get encouraged to go yard. Here's Ryan Russ, also a Flashback player. Ryan, one of the best defensive left fielders in the game. And Ryan's got some huge hands. He's a human highlight reel at times in the outfield. And his offense has been coming along very nicely. That pitch a little high and deep. So I believe it might be a full count. Manzella should be off. He is. And Ryan smacks it hard. Scahill can't make the play. And the first run of the ball game scores. So I just noticed I didn't have my scoreboard up there. So we'll get that squared away. So bear with me, folks. As we'll get this thing put together. And here's Nick Drabel. And Nick bounces it off of Sloan, and he makes the play for out number 3. But in the inning, Flashline does grab their first lead of the ball game as we get the scoreboard taken care of for you guys as we hurried to come down here and get on the air for this doubleheader. And so the scoreboard is right, and we're going to throw a couple of graphics up there as well, as we always do. So this is Chicago's 16-inch style softball, folks. For those of you checking it out for the first time, Rules are a little bit different. It's 60-foot bases. You can lead off, but you can't steal. And 38 feet from the pitching rubber to the point of home plate. 6-12 on the arc. Because we're playing no glove, the pitcher gets a drag step, one step right, left, or back off of the rubber. Pitcher gets 2 fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A throw to a base or a fake to a base is one of your fakes or hesitation. So here's Curtis. Line drive snagged by the shortstop. Nicely done there, Jason Ganick. Good hands. Curtis looking out, giving him the evil eye. Not too happy he got robbed. Here's Nick Casano. This is a 16-inch clincher. It's not a mush ball, folks. Comes out of the box pretty firm. And Casano, so nice play by Lenny. Went down on a little hard line drive, short hop. Good strong throw, 2 up, 2 down. It's going to bring up Al Rice. Again, these short dimensions here, 210 to center, 235, 210 down the lines, 235 to center. The wall out there is only about 3.5 feet tall. All turf field, so we see a lot of ground rule doubles, and you only get 4 home runs. If the ball hits the roof in fair territory, you can catch it before it hits the ground for an out. If it hits the ground, it's all you can get. So here's Al Rice. Well, I'm not sure how the chat works on YouTube, Amalia, to be honest with you. A lot of what I do with the graphics and everything is through third-party software, so that wouldn't necessarily affect me too much. So of course I could actually go to YouTube and stream direct. The reason why we use all of the third-party software is twofold. One, so we can throw the graphics up there, and 2, Facebook won't let me on an Android device stream in landscape mode. I don't know why. It lets the iOS do it, but not the Android. So. And again, I'm not sure why it glitched there. But, like here now, this time it worked. So it was just kind of a weird thing. Probably something on Facebook's end. So little 2-out thread here. Mike Oliver, all of a sudden we got first and second here. So we're back to softball.
I'll tell you what, Jim, the guy on the left is bigger.
So I don't have an answer for you on the emoji and stuff in YouTube. And Mike Oliver, high, towering fly ball, will stay in the yard, and the center fielder makes easy work of it. Ian Langston.
Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Good job. Boys, let's go.
And I'm not sure. That looks more like Holst. Ian Holst, not Langston. So he's a new pickup for Moneyline. I don't think JP, who wrote the lineup out, necessarily knew him, and he thought of Langston, but that's not the Ian Langston I know. That looks like Ian Holst to me. So leading off, it's going to be Ryan Driebel, excuse me. And he hits a little ground ball. Casanos a little bobble, but he recovers for out number 1.
Let's go, Jay. Come hard, Jay.
And that's going to bring up Jason Ganick. And he takes that pitch. So Moneyline has really evolved through the years. They originally came out, Matty had a team. There's a towering fly ball. That's going to stay in the yard. Brandon is there, and he puts it away. So that's going to bring up Frank Jekyll. Of course, it was Frank that got softball back in the dome here with these two 16-inch sessions, and he had something to do with the 50 and over. So big kudos to Frank. And I'm sure he'll try to expand it, and Frank cuts a hit in front of left. So a two-out single brings up Lane Neiman Jr.
Yeah, but the lefty got off the block.
And Lane Jr., of course, his father Lane was one of my, first of all, Lane is, I want to say this correctly, and now they're all going back. They circle the wagons, throw to the plate offline, and Flashline steals a run. So that was an example, a high fly ball. I don't know if it grazed the roof, but all of a sudden Curtis looked like he lost the ball, and the ball dropped in. Frankie wasn't going to stop. He was motoring. And here's Ian Holst. So another runner in scoring position. And Ian, a high pop-up, Kimmer puts it away, and that'll do it. But they pick up a run on a little bloop, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. Two to nothing, Flashline. So getting back to Lane Neiman Jr., his father, Lane Sr., who's in the Hall of Fame as a manager in his own right. Lane ran some good teams, the Rockers in particular, and also ran a young team called the Kids, which is where A.J. Koya got his start, and eventually A.J. came to play on Mudville when Lane came aboard to be an assistant manager for me. Me and Lane worked very good through the years. So here it's going to be Rob Scahill leading off. And Scahill shoots it opposite field, but Brandon is there, and he makes the catch. So Rob hit it good, and that young kid Brandon, still a young hitter, but he's shown he can cover a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Ian Holst out there. Got my teams confused. Too much softball. So here's Greco. And there's a ball hit the opposite way, caught out in left field. Easy play there for Ryan Russ. It's going to bring up Richie Battistoni. And I tell you, Hexx, they won that game against the Future, but their offense has been a little sluggish today too. And there's a long run, and getting rolled up into the net over there. Great effort was Lenny Gonzalo. Lenny just couldn't get there, but a pretty good effort. I think if there's no netting there, Lenny might have had a better chance. I think when they get close to a wall or a fence or a net, not everybody's as psychotic as Shane Reardon is over at the Odyssey softball team. or a Jackson Perry, where they're not afraid to crash into a wall and make a catch. So there's a bullet up the middle, base hit. So Richie Battistoni checks in. That might be Richie's first hit of the night. It brings up Nick Kimmer, and Greco will come out and run for him.
That's what I said. I said, you're a fucking loser. I said, oh, you said we need a guy. That was what you said. So we need a guy?
That is correct, Nick. So it's kind of a hybrid team here. They split the cost because both teams had guys that. And Nick Kimmer walks the dog into right field. That's going to score Hexx's first run. Stand-up double for Nick Kimmer. So both teams had a handful of guys that wanted to play, so they got together. Of course, Matty Dozen, one of our board members, good friends with Bobby Ross and Jibbs from Flashback. And so they just wanted to get out, and whoever wanted to play was welcome to come. Of course, it's always interesting. We'll see what happens next week during the playoffs and what players start to come on out. I'm not sure if Frank got rosters from these teams or not. And there, Frank dumps a strike in there. And there's a little short flare that's thought it was going to be trouble, but P.J. Raines closed in a hurry and made the catch. So Hexx does get on the board. We're going to head to the third. So like I was saying in the first game, it was weird getting to the dome with the sun still out. It'd be nice if you actually knew who your players were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Holst. Yeah, well, that's Holst, not Langston. Of course, and Ian Langston did play on Flash when I was there.
You could blame Flashback's score.
JP for that? We're having a little laugh at, and here's Sean leading off here for Flashline. We're having a joke because Ian Langston is on the lineup card. It was really Ian Holst. Little ground ball. Rory Oakrey not in time, and the youngster was calling himself safe as he ran down the line.
Base. Don't shake your head. Just call base. Shake your head because they almost tripped. You're on base. Hey,
so Sean, a young kid that they brought out here, and now they got Lenny Gonzalo, and Lenny is a pretty good polished hitter. Tries to go inside out, and that ball was fading toward the gap. And Lenny, good hard slide into second. Sean got into third. So,
Lenny, we got the game ball. We got a game ball for you.
So Lenny Gonzalo. And Lenny's got some wicked action because he can go the other way. Here's P.J. Raines. And P.J. scalds one out there. And, oh, Brandon, the young kid, actually overran it. 2 runs are going to score. And I think as he overran it, the ball was behind him and hit him on his right ankle. And he's kind of hobbling. He actually overran that. That's how quick a jump he got. In the meantime, 2 runs have scored. Runner on second. So here's Mike Manzella. And Mike goes high and deep, and that ball is gone. 2-run homer for Manzella. Flashline has pushed out to 6-1 now, 4-run outburst. It's going to bring up Julian Gutierrez. And again, some of these hitters are so big and so strong that with these dimensions, that's why they have the 4-homer rule. Because, you know, they don't really want to turn this into 12-inch. And Julian, big humpback as Julian Gutierrez hits a line drive in front of the right fielder, Mikey Oliver. So here's Ryan Russ now. This Flashline starting to get their offense in gear.
Good ball, Julian.
And Ryan Russ hammers a little humpback into left field. That ball was up around his eyes. He got his hands up there and over the top. Threw it over the infield, and it had enough topspin to sink. Here's Nick Drabel. Of course, Nick, one of the proprietors of Sweet Buzz and a SSA corporate partner. See their logo. There's a ground ball, and he hits it through the whole bases juice now. And you can see maybe you might have picked that up. Nick Kimmer thought he was going up the middle, and Nick ended up pulling his hands through, and Kimmer broke. There's his Sweet Buzz owner right there, Nick Drabel. And here's his brother, Ryan. So bases are loaded. We got a 6-1 game here. Both Ryan and Jason certainly strong enough to go yard, and you certainly don't mind using one of your 4 with the bases loaded. The only problem is sometimes guys try to go deep, and they end up hitting a line drive right at somebody. So as a base runner, you got to be careful. Ground ball to Kimmer. They'll go to short way to third. But it does drive in the 7th run of the ball game, as it looked like Ryan may have reached just a little bit. He rolled over that top hand. Nice play by Kimmer. He wasn't going to get a double play there, so he made the safe play and got the lead runner. So here's Jason Ganick. And Jason off the roof. And nobody can get there, and the bases are going to be loaded again. Oh, they called it foul. My bad. Well, Mike, I heard last week that Nick had a pretty good day. He had 3 hits in one of the games last week, and Nick he's a pretty good little player. So Ganick back in the box, and this time he drives it way back to center, and it just calls over the 235 mark for a 3-run jack. And Flashline starting to open up at 10-1 here in the 3rd inning. 2 home runs in the inning. In a lot of ways, if you're Hexx, you wish the ball that was off the roof would have been called fair before that. Instead, a power hitter got a second chance, and he rode it just over to the 235 fence in dead center field. And Frank Jekyll, and getting there is Curtis Ostrom. And that ball was short enough to where if the bases were loaded, I don't think the runner on third would have scored. Here's Lane Neiman Jr. So I think Hexx has got to get rolling here a little bit, as they are stuck in neutral. Little pop fly, Ostrom is there, and that'll be the 3rd out. But in the inning, they throw up an 8 spot, and they really push out. So we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And I'm going to grab a little bit of water, folks, and I'll be right back. That Facebook must be working. I haven't seen one comment on the YouTube, and it's nice to know that some of you out there know where you can go in an alternative if you know we're going to be on and you're not seeing a game. Because if something happens and we're not going to be broadcasting after it's announced, we always follow up with something. I'm going to grab some water. Meanwhile, in the box, Rory Oakray.
Yeah, then we joined. He said, fuck those guys, I'm out. 33. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? No, I didn't.
So here's Rory. And he guides it into the outfield, and Ian Holst, right on the spot, makes the catch. So Hexx just been, they beat Future, but they were not as enthusiastic as they normally are. See a lot of guys over there looking at their cell phones. So leadoff man down, and here's a little spinner foul. So again, we got a pinch hitter for Brandon. I want to say this is Tommy. It is Tommy. Plenty of time still for this Hexx team to get back in the mix. And there's a little flip shot in front of Ian Holst. So the pinch hitter Tommy delivers. And now they're at the top of their lineup with Curtis Ostrom. So again, once you get past Curtis, Nick's got a little pop, but then they got 3 or 4 guys in a row. And we're in the 3rd inning, but they need to generate some runners and maybe hit a bomb and cut into this lead in a hurry. And Ostrom goes high and deep and way up into the net. So Curtis, of course, as I always called him, the straw that stirs the drink for Hexx, and he was the same way with Smackout. And even though there was only one base runner there, I think Curtis wanted to ring the wake-up bell. Now, if you're Casanos, you'd like to get on base and let these next couple of guys do some damage. He's got 10-4 on the board. I'm not sure if that's right. I thought there was only one runner there. And here's Nick Casanos. He drives it, but P.J. Raines tracked it all the way. That'll be out number 2. Because I don't believe Rory got on, so Brandon was on. I don't think that's the right score there. And here's Al Rice. And Al goes deep into the net. That's a no-doubter. Hit the light fixture up there. It's 10-4. But they've used 2 of their home runs now. So I'll check the score after the inning. I believe it's 10-4, not 10-5. I might have missed something, but is that the right score, Carbs? 10-5? I thought it was 10-4.
That's what I thought too. I was just asking. I thought it was 10-4.
Yeah, I think Chooch might have missed a run. Well,
it was a 2-run homer. I don't know if you scored before that.
No. You guys had one coming in, and it was a 2-run homer, and now a solo. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. So here's Mark. with Mikey Oliver on deck. And Holstein hard off of Jekyll, nobody here. And I tell you, after that went off of Frank's foot, he went to chase the ball. At that point, he wasn't going to catch the ball. Probably should have just changed direction and went right to first, because Julian Gutierrez did get the ball, but there was nobody at first. So here's Mikey Oliver now. And again, you got Scahill on deck, so this is a big hitter, and he delivers. He keeps the inning alive. And you know my thoughts on throwing behind a guy a foot or two past the bag. I don't like it. And now you got another big bat coming up here. 2 outs, and if you're Scahill, again, you're down a lot. Even though you've already hit 2, you'll use one here. And he just delivers a rocket base hit. Run is going to score. Runner's on the corner, so some good 2-out hitting here. And I believe it's 10-5 right now. And here comes Greco again. They're creeping a little closer. And Greco's certainly enough pop to get out of here, and so does Battistoni. So they could find themselves right in. We told you leads do have a tendency to disappear in this dome, and we're only in the 3rd inning. So it'd be interesting to see who might. And there's a swing way back, gone! So we told you Greco had it. He launches a 3-run homer. And I believe it's 10-8. They have used 3 bombs to get back in the game. Matt, I think it's 10-8, not 10-9. I think they missed a run.
They gave an extra run.
10-8. 10-8.
10-8.
10-8.
Ask JP if that's right.
JP to keep their score.
No, that can't be right. It was 10-1 coming in. Curtis led off with a solo. Somebody got on, and there was a 2-run, and he put the 5 instead of the 4 up there. I don't know why they question Gio. Why did they do it? Why? I make 2 mistakes a decade, and I haven't made one yet in this decade, folks. No, that's not true. So here's Richie now, 10-8 ball game, got the score settled. And just like that, Hexx does use 3 dingers, but they get back into the ball game. And again, I think the important thing with the dingers is, yeah, you'd like to have them late, but you want to maximize it. You know, they hit a 2-run bomb and a 3-run bomb. Curtis's home run was a solo, but I think he did that with a purpose in mind to maybe shake things up a little bit, and that did work as they throw a 7 spot up there, and we got ourselves a different-looking ball game. So Ian Holst, Sean, and Lenny Gonzalo coming up.
For a couple of teams from my tournament, April 26th.
April 26th, Matt Dozin needs a couple of teams for the Kickoff Classic, and that'll be at Oak Lawn. So April 26th, if you want to jump into Maddie's tournament, and that is not caught. Brandon got there, and Holst, who runs pretty good. Oh, Kimmer, nice job making sure it didn't roll away. So this kid Brandon is getting to everything. That time he went into a slide, leadoff stand-up double. So here comes Sean. Ideally, you'd like to see him push the ball the other way. He's way off the plate. And he's playing baseball, and he guides it to the other side. What a scoop by Greco! Are you kidding me? Da-da-da. Da-da-da. He robs the youngster of a hit.
Nice play, Mike.
And you can see here, oh, sorry, folks. Man, my timing is off. Here's Lenny Gonzalo.
Come on, Lenny. Come on, Lenny. Go, Lenny. Have a game, Lenny. Have a game.
But you can rewind the tape at home. You don't need my replay. But trust me when I tell you, that was as good a scoop as you're ever going to see. In the meantime, Sean did move the runner. And here's Lenny now. Easy RBI opportunity. Lenny pretty much a line drive, long fly type of hitter. And there's a line drive on demand as he gets another base hit and drives in a run. Tell you, he's short and he's quick. And he barrels up. This kid can rake. So here's P.J. Rain. So Flashline gets one of the runs back. And P.J. goes high. Ostrom back. He's got room. Belly catch. Quick throw in. Keeps Lenny over here at first base. So 2 outs for Manzella. He's already got a home run in this game. Wouldn't surprise me if Mike didn't try to launch again. And he went for it, and it hit the roof, and it drops in. And now there's a bobble. Lenny will score. He was running with 2 outs. And that ball was going to have a real good chance of leaving the yard, but it hit the roof. Oliver had already gone back several steps. And we'll see if Julian tries to launch. Everybody's into early game launch mode, it seems. And he hits a screamer into right field. Manzella was moving, but they'll hold him. Brings up Ryan Russ. Gutierrez's second hit of the ball game. And I made a comment during a broadcast last year that I think Julian went away from pulling the ball a little bit last year, and he was just trying to flip everything the other way, and he's a big, strong dude. First time I saw him, it was in Oak Lawn. And there, Ryan Russ comes through, another run scores, 13-8. And he was playing with smack out, and he hit 2 of the longest home runs I had seen that summer in the right center field.
Let's go, keep hitting it hard.
And I made a comment during the game that I like him a little better as a hitter when he's being more aggressive, pulling the ball, pickoff attempt not in time. And he actually came up to me at Melrose Park for a league game, and he said, I heard what you said, and you're right. I've been trying to pull the ball more. I'm getting back to more hits. And Scahill reads that ball very well, but in the inning, Flashback pushes 3 across, and they extend the lead out. So Nick Drabo line drive for the 3rd out. So the game seems to be loosening up offensively. So both teams putting better swings on it.
They won again? Montreal needed that game, though.
Well, Nick, if you know anybody at DraftKings, have them give me a call. I'd like to get a betting app as a sponsor. And they can email me at george@ssasoftball.com. So here's Nick Kimmer leading off. And Nick, a little overhand cut into left field. So leadoff man on, it brings up Brian Sloan. Of course, the first time we really saw Nick Kimmer, he had a longer beard and long hair.
Hey!
He Looked like the Forrest Gump when he was running in the movie around America. Relatively clean shaven by comparison now. So here's Brian Sloan with Rory Oakley on deck.
I know. Here, Sean.
So Brian Sloan here. And there's a swing and a base hit. So Brian didn't try to do too much, just dropped it right in front of Ian Holst. Brings up Rory, and it looks like Tommy is going to hit for Brandon. So Brandon will be out of the ball game, so we'll see if Tommy goes to the outfield or not. And Rory comes through. He strokes it up the alley. 1 run's going to score. Brian Sloan will get to third. So in these kind of games, we always talk about how your bottom got to pitch in, and the Hexx bottom certainly is trying in this ball game. So here comes Tommy. He's going to hit for Brandon, so Brandon will be done. And Matt Dozen trying to rearrange his defense. 13-9. Curtis Ostrom is on deck. You got runners on the corner. You don't want to walk this kid, because I can tell you Curtis will try to hit the slam if he got a chance. And there's a little flare. That's going to be foul. And look at this picture. Holy mackerel. There's only one guy there who's not in the hall, Caputo. Jibs will go in someday. No, guaranteed. Jibs is the best pitcher of my generation. And there's a little infield pop-up. So Tommy pops up. And they only got one left. Short of a grand slam, this would be maximum damage. So let's see how Curtis wants to play it. And Curtis goes oppo, and he walks the dog. 1 run is in. Oakley is digging, and they hold him. I'm a little surprised there. They were throwing the ball into second. I'm a little surprised that they held Oakley at third. Brings up Casano, and now Nick Drabo going to replace the pitcher. 13-10.
Coach, what happened? You didn't want to go in?
So Nick has pitched a little bit in the past, but normally money line they've got I think Rob Grisano is coming to this team. There's a line drive, and Lane Neiman Jr. pops it up in the air. Take it back, there wasn't 2 outs. So Casanos, but here's big trouble in Al Rice. Question is, do you walk him to get the Holstein? You never even think about it back in the day, but they're going to pitch to Al. And Al goes right up into the net on the first pitch he sees. 3-run shot, they're out of home runs, and we are all tied at 13. Hexx all the way back from a 10-1 deficit. So they weren't bad. Besides Curtis's solo shot, they've hit 2 threes, a 2, and a solo. So that's what, 6, 8, 9 of their 13 on the long ball. But on the downside, they got none left. And we are just a little bit past the halfway mark of the ball game, so they're going to have to lock in now. And they're going to have to concentrate more now on just getting singles. And that's a hard line drive, and oh, that did not sound good. And Julian right to the sidelines. Of course, it was the third out. That had an odd sound. He says it was the stomach. And I believe him, because if it was a little bit lower, you wouldn't be running around like that. So we got ourselves an entertaining game. We told you, leads disappear when the big boys are playing. So we're going to head now, top of the fifth, action-packed ball game here. It's going to be Ryan Drabel, Jason Ganick, and Frankie Jekyll. And looking out to center, it does look like Tommy stayed in the game, replaces Brandon out there. He hit for Brandon twice. So Ryan Drabel, Jason Ganick, and Frankie Jekyll. Got a good one here. Tell your friends. And he goes deep, and he drives in. Curtis kept it in the yard. Safe at second. So that ball was driven out there. And I think this ball goes out if Curtis doesn't reach up. And in a weird way, I know he saved the run there. Here's Jason Ganick. But in a weird way, I lost track of how many home runs Flashline got. And there's a base hit. So Jason Ganick drives in a run. He breaks the tie, 14-13. Nobody out for Frank Jekyll. So, in a weird way, maybe letting a team get a solo homer. And there's a ground ball. Kimmer to Casano. They twist. Nicely done there. Kimmer got a big hop there and did a nice job there of turning. Nice job by Casano. Good, strong, accurate throw. Nicely done. So that's going to bring up Lane Neiman, Jr. And Lane hits a high, soft fly ball. Tommy started back, but plenty of time to recover. And he makes the play. Bottom of the fifth. Flashline back in front. I'd venture a guess that 14 isn't going to be enough in this game. So like I said, sometimes the guy's going to hit a solo homer. If you're playing defense, you don't mind that. So Mikey Oliver going to lead off, then Rob Scahill, and now Greco. So again, no more home runs for Hexx, and he just grounds a hit past Sean. And now Ryan Russ uncharacteristically reached down with one hand. They're going to, no, they hold him. I thought they were going to send him. Wild throw. He would have made it, but a lead-off triple. The ball was hit to left center. Ryan Russ went there. Center fielder Ian Holst was there, but Ryan reached down, hit his hand, and then rolled away from both of them. And right now, if you're Hexx, you want Scahill to get a base hit here. You're not thinking about giving himself up. And there's a nice play by Ganick, but the lefty beats it out easily, and we're all tied at 14. Of course, Scahill moves pretty good, tall kid, long strider. Factor in he's left-handed, and Ganick had to go down to his knees and spin a little bit. No chance. So here's Greco. And Greco, little flip the other way. That'll be foul. So we're all tied at 14. Lead off triple base hit. And here's Greco. And if I would have placed my bet, Nick, on DraftKings, I'd be a winner. And that ball is going to be, oh, PJ Raines with a mistake. He reached up above the fence line, let it go out. It's an out. Instead, he reached up and the ball stayed in play. And again, normally that would have been caught by PJ. Now you got Battistoni. And there's a little ground ball. Neiman goes to Sean. And Sean caught a break there. It didn't look like he was going to throw it at first. And then as an afterthought, he did, and he almost threw it away, which would have put Hexx ahead. So here's Kimmer. And Kimmer, and that's off the wall, and everybody's turned around. Called it fair, a run scores, and Hexx all the way back to take a lead, 15-14. And again, we got the umpire behind the run. Hexx is leading 15-14. There was a leadoff triple and a base hit by Scahill. And that ball is hit to Raines, and he makes the catch, and he'll throw that in.
I just tried to see where it hit, yeah.
So now they've told the umpire, and they've corrected it. Here's Rory, runners on the corners. 2 outs here. And there's a hard ground ball, and it gets through Ganick. Another run scores. And again, you could take a look at that run. The ball that Raines should have let go out for an out. That runner has scored, and now they would have been out of the inning. So it's cost 2 runs right here, and that's exactly what Hexx is leading. Again, as an outfielder, your instinct is to go get the ball. And again, we're in the dome, and sometimes players don't keep track of that stuff. That's when you got to, as a manager, tell your outfield, look, if anything is going to get out now, it's an out. Just let it go over the fence. So we're going to head to the 6th. New leader in town. So Flashline thought they were in cruise mode up 10-1. And since that time, they've been outscored 15-2. Or excuse me, 15-4. So it's going to be Ian Holst, Sean, and then the top of the lineup. The big hitters for Flashline will probably get one more at bat. If you're a Flashline, you'd like to see it in this inning. And there's a ground ball, and that's going to be out number 1. So again, Ian, a left-handed hitter. I'm not sure if he was trying to guide that ball in the other way. And just got too quick and hit it back to the mound. This is kind of an odd lineup, this Lenny. And there's a swing, and the youngster hits a medium deep fly ball. Richie Battistoni was really waving Mike Oliver in. I don't think he came in as far as he wanted him to, and it turned out to be better. So 2 outs, nobody on now, brings up Lenny. PJ Raines on deck. And Lenny just keeps laying out rope as he punishes one. And now here comes PJ Raines with Mike Manzella on deck. And I think Flashline still has at least one home run, maybe two. And there's a short one hopper, but Rory stays with it, and they get out of the inning. So we head to the bottom of the sixth. Hexx been a whole different ball clubs since they started unloading those home runs in that 9-run inning. And they got the top of their lineup with Curtis Ostrom. The only good news if you're Flashline is that these guys got to stay in the yard now. And here's Curtis Ostrom. Started this massive comeback with a solo shot. And there he hard cuts it, foul down the line. Played against Curtis's dad, Davey O, way back in the day. And Curtis now goes to center, and Ian Holst can't make the catch as he rolled over. And I wanted to make sure Ian was okay. Last year, Matty Dozen's tournament, he dove for a ball and he hurt his shoulder, but he seems like he's okay. So leadoff double, here's Nick Casano. Hexx looking for a little insurance. And Casanos delivers a hit the other way. Ostrom takes the big turn, but he stops. First and third for Al Rice. Thing about Al is he's so strong that he's almost got to pull his swing back a little bit or really concentrate on hitting line drives because he can barrel up on something and have it carry out of here without necessarily meaning. And he's taking some pitches here. I like how vocal he's being. He's just going to let Nick pitch. Full count. There is nobody out, so no one's running here. And that ball is hit. It's going back, but it'll stay in the park. We'll score a run, and Casanos will advance. So Al kind of swung downward on that ball like he was making a conscious effort not to elevate it. Stayed in the park. Got one in, got one over. And now here's Holstein. And Holstein, back to Nick, he thought about the runner, but then he just went ahead and took the out. So 2 outs now for Mikey Oliver. So Hexx has picked up an insurance run. That guy at third would be awful nice for him because it'd put him up a 4 spot. Meaning you'd need a grand slam to tie, and Oliver goes high. PJ Raines makes the catch. So we're going to head now, excuse me, do or die, top of the 7th for Flashline. They need 3 to tie and keep the game going, 4 to take a lead. Anything less, and Hexx will finish off their night with their second win. So I'm going to grab some water before the 7th starts.
Hey, just fucking spin a quarter in one time. Hey, hit it short, 3 innings. Come on. Hey, I'm ready to win. Let's go. I'm ready to win.
go up on it.
I'm taking solo.
If anybody's, here's Mike Manzella leading off. And Mike, a little hard ground ball. Casano stays with it. That's out number one. If anybody's watching on Twitch, this Stream Boo is an unvetted nonsense site. So do not fall into that trap and just ignore them. And there's a little chopper, Rory. So Flashline down to the last out, and Ryan Russ
Hey, 2 with 2, let's go.
down 10-1.
Get 2 men out, keep going.
Hexx has come back to outscore Flashline 16-4. And this is a nice win, even though this is kind of a hybrid Flashline team. It's a pretty good team. Hexx has got a lot of new faces from Sauce. So when you can win a game with some pretty good major players on the other side, and Ryan Russ gets another hit, keeps the game alive, it's a good confidence booster, especially for the new guys coming over. And this is the kind of stuff where everybody gets excited about. So here's Nick Drabel, his brother Ryan on deck. So Flashline needs one more base runner to be dangerous. He's taken all the way. Grabs a strike.
Hey, let's go somewhere hard.
Next two guys, Ryan and Jason, capable. Little roller. Casanos beats him to the bag. And he just touches it, and Hexx holds on after being down 10-1. Came back, used their home runs very judiciously to really get back into the game in a hurry. So we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We're going to be back live on Thursday. Going to have Signature a couple of times. And I believe one of those games is Signature 45s. So that should be a big tilt as well. So in the meantime, be safe. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. On behalf of Sweet Buzz,